Hello. How is everybody doing tonight? All right. Okay, we are live. We just got Run in the background waiting for him to join in, say hello. But today we're going to be talking about 22 Jump Street once Brian will get here. Yes, Will is back, which is going to be super fun. Can't wait for that. So let's just see when the hell get in here. Good morning, Omega Man. Yes, I said good morning. Whatever. It's late. It's been a long day. Ironically, it's been a long day, and I said morning. That's the opposite of what it should be, but whatever. Maybe I'm already into tomorrow. Who knows? I think we are as good as we can be, ready to go. I've got my IMDb up. I got my score up. Got the poster ready to go. I can't think of anything else that we're missing other than, co-hosts. Oh, those crazy co-hosts. Let's check this out real quick. We just got done making a video for the new Clayface movie that's coming out. We got done making a trailer. Yeah, a teaser trailer reaction for Clayface. That's what I'm trying to say. So assuming all the checks and balances go well from YouTube, that should be up hopefully pretty soon. I didn't get any notifications that it got dinged for anything, so that's a good sign. And then we've got what's the other thing we got going on? Oh, there was a Godzilla Minus Zero teaser that came out, but it is super short. And I was shockingly negative on it. So I don't know. Maybe I'll make that into a video. Maybe I'll just delete it and move on with my life. It's hard to say. It's sometimes good to have negative videos out there to prove that you're not just like always, woo, everything's amazing. But also, I don't know. I don't like putting negativity out in the world. It looks like it got through checks and balances. So let's go ahead and make this live. Public. Back. There we go. Our Clayface video is live. You can check that out at any given time. And then when we're done our rating, maybe I'll go back and watch what I made for Minus Zero and see if it's worth putting out into the world or not. What was I going to check real quick? Oh, I'm going to check that real quick. Okay, nothing different there. And what about here? Just for funsies. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Hello, Crow. How are you doing, sir? Good to see you. Brian was the one that said he wanted to be in and out really quickly, and he's wasting time looking at his whatever account, Steam account. Okay. That can get closed. I did just see that Claire Obscura went up for sale. Let's check that out real quick, see if anything else went up for sale. I'm not allowed to spend any money on video games. I've made that a little bit clear. I've got a ridiculous backlog of Metroidvanias, so I've kind of made a deal with myself that until I get 10 Metroidvanias released and reviewed, I'm not going to spend any more money on video games, which is going to be kind of a good kick me in the butt, get myself out there and make sure that I'm doing what I need to be doing. And also kind of painful if something really solid comes on sale. So we'll see. Silent Hill 2 is one that I've been looking forward to for quite some time. It's 50% off, but still $50, which is, ugh. Claire Obscura is one I don't know that I'm excited for, but just because of all the hype, I at least want to try it. But it's still also $50. I think if it's still in, I don't have Game Pass anymore. I was gonna say if it's still in Game Pass, maybe I'll pick that up. But I guess I could pick Game Pass up for $20 or whatever Game Pass is now and play it for a month and see how I feel about it. As I said, it's not one that I'm like gung-ho, diehard, really, really want to try. It's just kind of like, I'm curious because of how much hype there was around it. But did Brian get lost? I don't understand. He accepted my chat. Theoretically, where is that? Okay, so now we should be able to share chat, start sharing chat. There we go. So that should be shared chat. Close that down. I'm going to close his stream just so I don't, just one less thing for my computer to be processing at any given time. close that. Okay. Should be in good shape. Just need to wait on others. I don't know if Will is planning on streaming during as well, or if he's going to be shut down. I guess we can knock on his door and leave the option up to him. He's playing some Marvel Rivals. Neither one of them apparently looking at the clock. See what he says, because it should jump straight in. You must be live. Am I not live? No, we've got to be live. Why is it giving me that alert? People are in the chat. We got to be live. Also, it says end stream, not start stream, so you would think. Great. Oh, there we go. Good day, sir.
I got to change that background for you.
What is that background?
It's a bunch of popular video game characters for when I do like let's play some random games kind of stuff. I throw it here. It's a catch-all background for gaming. I also have one of just the females, which is actually really good. It's the same picture. It's just all the girls, none of the guys. It's pretty cool. I kind of wanted to be a poster in my room when I was a teenager, but I missed that.
Yeah, no doubt. Is it literally the exact same photo and just the guys aren't there?
Yeah. No. I mean,
okay. Yeah.
I mean, yes, but it's not like they just delete them out. It's the same. Like I asked for this photo and it came out really good. And then I was like, okay, now do me one with just the girls. And it redoes the photo with just the girls.
Okay. Now do one with all the girls and just me. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And now let's take off that. Never mind. Okay. Let's move on.
Moving on. How are you doing this week, Brad?
I'm doing great, Dan. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing well. I see Cleaning Agent is still online, but he's heavily locked into a Marvel Rivals match. So I don't know when we're going to be getting him to come over.
Oh, this one isn't going to work either, is it? This is 21 Jump Street. We want 22 Jump Street.
I'm certain.
Let's see if I can whip up something fast.
It's basically the same movie. It's basically the same poster. Just go with it.
Yeah, I know, right? It is such a continuation.
Yeah. I am curious to see how this conversation goes. I am not hesitant, a little nervous, maybe. I don't know. Because I have a feeling it's going to be another, 2-on-1, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. You said you were at a water park today?
Yes, I went to Epic Waters Water Park, indoor water park. I had a great time. None of the other parents wanted to go on any of the water slides, on any of the rides. None of them got wet. I was in there on the flow ride board. I don't know if you know what this is, but it's like a boogie board. Like they've got the knee board and they've got like the wake board that you can surf on. And they shoot that jet of water that creates the fake artificial wave and you go out there and you surf on it. And I had so much fun just going over and over again, all these little kids, and then this one grown-ass man in there. And it was cool. Like, we got into it. Like, we were applauding each other's tricks and we were like rooting each other on. We were high-fiving each other when we'd like be able to like take it to the next level and like get up onto our knees or like get up onto our feet and stuff. Having a great time. Then this old dude comes out there. Guy must have been like 68 years old. And he just comes out there, steps down on that flow board, and just starts to shred. I mean, absolutely tore it up. He's carving the waves, splashing everybody on the side, and like everybody's losing their mind because he was so old, and he just like must have been a surfer all his life because he just knew how to do it. It was a lot of fun, and I came in, I was like, oh, I got to get dressed up for stream, and I'm like, no, it's 22 Jump Street. I'm going to wear this. Just put on some colorful sunglasses. We're going to be fine. Who cares?
There you go. Oh, you're good. You're good. That's funny because that story could go one of two ways. Where either the old man is like, "I'm going to try this for the first time ever," and like breaks a hip.
No, that could have been me. Yeah. I got on there and I was like so wobbly at first, but like it was a ton of fun. And then there was like the one big slide where they put you in a container and the floor drops out and you just free fall until the slide finally starts to turn that angle and you catch the water and then you have that nuclear wedgie at the bottom when you finish the thing. I screamed like a little girl the whole way down. I had so much fun. But more importantly, my son said it was one of the best days of his life. He had a lot of fun. He was just hanging out with his friends, doing his thing, having a great time. So it was a super positive day.
Oh, yeah, it was amazing.
He just said,
Nice.
he says, oh, yeah, it was amazing.
This is just a random Thursday. This isn't like a school thing, or
Yeah, so he's in the band, and
Okay.
they go to Epic Waters and they play a gig, and then they get to go play in the water for the rest of the day. And so he's a drummer. He played the drums, and we went and had some fun.
like
So,
he's in a band, or he's in like the band for
the school band. He's in beginner
okay.
band in the 6th grade, and so he was back there just plowing away with those drumsticks and having a good time. And so it was a great day. And now I'm here and I have to talk about 22 Jump Street.
I'm like, save it, but like I'm super curious how you enjoyed the first one and just had no love at all for this one.
Not much at all. There's
save
shining
it.
moments.
We'll get there.
There's
We'll get
shining
there.
moments, but we'll get there. We'll get
Like
there.
I understand Will not liking the first one, also probably not liking this one. Like that makes sense to me. But like I'm super curious to hear what you got to say, because well, whatever. We'll get there too. Bubba Hotep, what kind of comedies do you enjoy? Clearly, you did not enjoy Jump Street, and I think we've had a conversation about some other ones that you weren't a big fan of. But what's something you do like? Put some positivity in the world, not just negativity. I was listening just barely while you were streaming. What's up, Claudel? What were you saying about Windrose? Is that something you're looking forward to, or something you're kind of meh on?
I keep watching everybody else play it, and they all say they're having a good time, but no one can really put their finger on why they're having a good time, nor can they recommend it to me specifically. Like everybody's like, I don't know why, but I just kind of enjoy playing this. Kind of like me with Survive the Night. It's not a game I'm ever going to recommend to anybody because I know there's better versions of it out there, but I just happen to kind of enjoy that chill game. And other people are just like, I just really enjoy playing this Windrose. So, yeah.
Well, that's what I was wondering, is if it's, look, I watched a bunch of them playing it on, I think, Saturday night, and I was wondering, like, is it just kind of a cozy game? Like almost like oh my gosh, what's that game called? Like Animal Crossing or something like that. Like obviously pirate themed, but just a bit more like relaxed. You just kind of do your own thing at your own speed and just have friends around while you're doing it. Like, I don't know. It looks intriguing to me. But I've kind of made this pact with myself where, like, until I get 10 Metroidvania reviews out there, I'm not going to spend any money on video games because I've got this ridiculous backlog on Steam already. So it's not high on my priority list. Also, by the time I actually get those reviews out, there's a good chance people have already stopped playing it and moved on to the next hot game. So
yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah.
Either I'll get lucky and I'll pick it up on sale when everybody's still loving it, or I'll just miss it and so be it.
Yeah, I think my playlist is so extensive. The amount of video games that I haven't even installed yet is just so ridiculous. I just can't justify installing anything but the absolute best title of the year, right? So like Expedition 33 just cleaned house at the Game Awards. Arc Raiders, phenomenal extraction shooter, breaking records, and everybody's talking about it. So those are some titles that I picked up. But I mean, if it's not the best thing out there, I just can't bring myself to purchase and install another one.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't necessarily have quite that big of an issue with it. It's more just, as you mentioned, like I've got such a backlog, and it's like I just need to put some time in. Did we just get raided by Pinsy? Oh, Pinsy, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Thank you for coming in with your 17 viewers. This is an early end to your stream. Normally, you're on quite a bit later than we are. Thank you, Tato Girl. Appreciate the resub for 6 months. My God.
What's going on, Pinsy and friends? Are y'all ready for us to review 22 Jump Street, the greatest comedy sequel ever made in the history of comedies?
I mean, you can just tell them we're doing it. You don't need to. I mean,
trying to sell it. You got to sell tickets. Once they're in the seat, you can bomb all you want.
I will argue, like, if it's not, and obviously clearly you don't think it is, what is a comedy sequel that's good?
I can't answer that. I don't think there is one. I don't think I don't think comedy sequels should exist. I don't think you should try and cash in on the same material. It'd be like, have you ever gone to see one of your favorite stand-up comedians, or maybe seen a stand-up comedian that you like you go to see them, you've seen them on TV, and you go to see them in person, and you're excited, and they do the same bit that you've already seen?
That's how stand-up works.
It shouldn't.
It is. Of course it is. Like that's like going to see a band and be like, "Oh, you're playing the hits. Oh, I've heard this song on the radio."
It's different from the last one, you know. And I just think that you should always be bringing new, fresh material. And so, having a sequel to a comedy movie, and this is point in case, it's just an extenuation of what you've already seen, and I want to see something new and fresh and fun. And this one.
Staying away from 21, because we're going to get into that once if Will ever turns off Marvel Rivals. For stand-up comedy, like it takes them months, if not years, to refine that material to the point where that actually is something they can put on television.
Sure,
right? Like they're not making that up the night before. Generally.
I think the best stand-up comedians can have a list of sets that they can pull from: 5 minutes, 15 minutes, half hour, 1 hour. And they can just go someplace and knock something out and have several of those. But that takes a career to build that repertoire of material. I do think, though, if you're in the stand-up comedy business, and I love stand-up comedy, by the way, if you didn't know.
Agreed. Same.
I think that every year, a good stand-up comedian can put out a solid 1 hour special every year, and it's new and it's fresh, right?
I don't disagree with that, but I feel like you would put that out and then go touring with that material while working on the new stuff.
I think you tour with that material, hone it in, and then land that special that everyone in the world can see, because then the people who have seen it before saw the rough draft version, not the polished version on Netflix or whatever place you're doing. So what's up, Will? How you doing?
Hello. Sorry, I'm late. My apologies.
No, you were having fun playing Marvel Rivals. We didn't want to interrupt that.
The only stand-up comedian I can think of that really does what you're talking about is The Machine, because he's told that Russian story like every show for like, and even he will tell you like, I am so sick of telling this, but this is what people will come for. So,
and even he's tried to move now to where it's like he mentions the Russian bit and then says, you know, if you want to know it, go back and watch one of my other specials. It's in all of them. So
exactly.
And then, but it's even still a reference point, like a jumping off point for him. That's probably what's his name? Is it Kurt Kushner? I can't remember.
Not Kurt. Mike Kushner? No, Brett Kushner.
Brett Kushner. That's it. Yeah, and I still think he's a fantastic comedian, but that is the downside of his material, is that I always kind of like have already seen bits and pieces of everything he does, and I always want the freshest stuff. So maybe Dave Chappelle just spoiled me, but that's what I look for.
Do you know who Josh Johnson is?
I've heard the name.
He somehow puts out a 1 hour special on YouTube every week. Now,
what?
They are not the funniest things you've ever heard of. Usually it's just him kind of telling stories.
Yeah.
But he's got kind of like Dave Chappelle, where just him talking is captivating and interesting.
Yeah.
More so
he's a storyteller.
Like,
I like that kind of comedy.
Yeah. Agreed. Same. I would check him out if you can. Seriously, he's got so many specials on
what's his name again?
Some are significantly better than others. I believe it's Josh Johnson.
Okay. I have no memory, so I got to write everything down. But I think fair. I love stand-up comedy. It's one of the things that I can always turn to, no matter what mood I'm in. Good mood or bad mood, you can always turn on stand-up comedy, and people will make you laugh. That's great. I think that's the best medicine.
It heavily depends on the stand-up comedian. I've watched some where I'm just like, oh no, okay.
Oh yeah,
not for me.
I watch 4 bad comedians out of every 5. So, but I'm happy to dig through the trash to find that one gem.
Yeah, when you get that one, it's amazing.
Yeah,
especially if you find one you click with, and you're like, oh, now I can watch all of their stand-up and be pretty happy.
But we're not here for stand-up comedy. We're here for film comedy in its best form ever. Will, aren't you excited to be rating 22 Jump Street, the highlight, the pinnacle of cinema comedy?
I mean, that's your words, not mine.
I feel like that's not his either. Will, how are you doing? You've been away for a bit. Or should we just get right into it and do this live?
I mean, no, I'm good. Trip was good. Everything was good. We're back. Let's do this thing.
Excellent. All right, let's open up the curtains and
Oh, what
switch
the
you guys.
hell?
Yeah, that's not okay. Thank you all very much for the raiders who came in. Generally speaking, when we are actually recording, we're kind of ignoring the chat and just kind of doing our thing. But we are always reading what you have to say. Sometimes we'll bring it in if it's like an especially funny or a great comment. But generally speaking, we record this, we can put it on YouTube and whatnot. So we're not ignoring. Well, we are ignoring you, but we are reading what you're saying. We just keep the conversation between us as much as possible. I'm super happy to have you all here. Will, start us off.
Wow. Wait.
Well, just because you weren't full screen.
I'm full screen now. Okay. It's weird when I stream because now my windows are all different. So it looks like I'm reading more than, well, no, I'm always just reading. 22 Jump Street. 2014. Okay, good start. Just like the movie. When a newer and potentially lethalier drug has surfaced, two terrible cops have given more money to once again go deeper undercover than they ever have before, this time as college students. They must find twice the amount of badder guys and gals and stop them at any and all costs before the drugs spread to even more streets. I don't know what I'm even saying anymore. Let's talk about this movie.
Happy birthday, Enola. I just want to get that out there before we go further.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
What
Damn
is
it.
that, Ron?
Trying to turn my air conditioner off so we don't have to listen to it.
Oh,
Gotcha.
I thought
There
it was
it
a
goes.
hamster.
Sorry.
wheel.
That's what powers my internet over here.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our rating, the show where I get together with two of my friends. We talk about a movie franchise, break it down into individual movies, give it an overall score, and then throw it back on the board to see where it lands compared to the other movie franchises. Today, we are joined once again by Will and Brian. Will, you've been away the last couple of weeks. How are you doing? Did you have a good trip?
Yeah, good trip. Happy to be back. My apologies for my video entries. It's the best I could do.
No, they were good. They
Yeah,
got
they were
the point
great.
across. And last week, I don't know if you
actually-
saw the episode. We had you there anyways, just on
I
screen.
did.
So, like the camera positioning made sense, and
I
was a good time.
appreciate that. Yeah, I was there in spirit and in freeze frame.
yeah,
I actually kind of liked that Will's video would come in after the fact, us not knowing anything about his take on it, and then like pairing that to what Dan and I talked about. That was kind of fun for a change.
yeah, agreed. Usually we don't talk about these things behind the scenes, so that's why having Will not even knowing what he was saying, like I didn't watch the video until literally it was airing live, was really cool. This week we've talked a little bit. I think we all have kind of an idea of where we're coming in on this one. Brian, how are you doing this week?
I'm great. As you know, I just finished up a little field trip with my son, and it was a wonderful day. So I'm super pumped. I got lots of energy today, which is good because this movie talking about it's probably going to take me down a peg or two.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Now I have to throw this out there. Will, I'm sure I know your answer. Brian, is this the first time you've seen 22 Jump Street?
No, I had seen the first half of 22 Jump Street before and
Okay.
turned it off in the middle because I didn't
Probably-
want to have to go through it. And
Nope,
then you
fair.
guys made me watch the whole damn thing.
Whoa.
And Will, I'm assuming pretty much the same for you. You had to be forced to watch this one.
I must say, I think Brian is the most I've ever heard of somebody watching half movies or movies in intervals. I can't believe how weird this guy watches movies. But to answer your question, yes, this is the first and last time I will ever watch this movie.
That's totally fair.
My time is valuable to me, Will. If you haven't hooked me through half the film, man, that's a bad film. I ain't giving it the rest of my day. No way.
That's fair. That's fair. I agree with Will though. Like I don't know how you watch movies. Like you've said a couple of times, you're like, I watch this in 5-minute increments. I'm like, I don't know how you can even do that. Like that seems mind-numbing to me, but sure.
Just rocking that hardcore ADD, man. That's all
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is.
It's just in TikTok for me.
Yeah,
Yeah, I gotta scroll through the scenes.
not even in order, just 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. Yeah, that was 2 hours worth. We're good.
I think I can piece it together.
All right. I will say this is my third time watching this one. So clearly I am on the opposite side of the spectrum for these two guys. And I'm very curious in a second to get to Will or Brian's comments, my apologies, because we were both fairly positive on last week's episode. And for me, this movie brings a lot of the same. It's got a lot of the same chemistry, a lot of the same actors, a lot of the same comedy. So I'm really curious, what is it about this film, Brian, that just just left you so cold after enjoying last week. Will, you didn't enjoy last week's. I get if you don't enjoy this one, but Brian, why did this one leave you cold when the last one did work for you?
So though last week's got a decent grade, it wasn't like a stellar film as far as these go. I certainly wouldn't have made a sequel out of 21 Jump Street. I would have actually done what 22 Jump Street did at the end, which it made all those, 23, 24, 25, 2021 in space Jump Street, those digs. I just would have made that at the end of the first one, and I think we would have been fine. That would have. I felt like this was a joke of itself. This was a joke of a joke. The first one made fun of itself because it was a reboot. And the second one makes fun of itself for being a sequel to a reboot. Like they just leaned into the same kind of jokes. And granted, they were funny in the first one, but they were getting a little tired this time. And they tended to push the two types of humor that I'm not as into. The really stupid humor and the really gross humor. I don't like that awkward, I'm doing something wrong, and I can't stop doing it kind of stuff. I think maybe that only works with Steve Carell in The Office or like Parks and Rec maybe does a pretty decent job of that awkward kind of dumb humor. Yep. But they really leaned into it this time. And that was the parts that I didn't like in the last movie. They did still have the same chemistry and it was pretty funny, but I'd kind of already seen those jokes in the first one. So it was just more of the stuff I didn't like. And not really anything new and fresh. And I just don't think that they needed to make this sequel.
Fair enough. Will, where do you land on this?
Yeah, you know what? I'm kind of the opposite of Brian on this. I felt that this one amped it up more so, being like, hey, look at us joking about how silly this idea is of revamping a reboot. I thought they should have gone that far with the first one. Instead, they did it with this one, but I've already been turned off of the movie at this point. And to Brian's point, though, I also really enjoyed the end where it was like, here's all the other sequels we can make, because then they don't have to make them. And I never have to watch another one.
Yeah. I did really like the joke early on. I'd forgotten it. It's been a minute since I've seen these movies. Where they're like at 21 Jump Street, they're like, I can't believe they sold the church. Now we have to move it to this one. And it's like, yeah, before too long we'll move it over to that one. Like 23 Jump Street. I was like, I don't know. That just got me. That was I thought that was clever enough.
I did enjoy the fact that they made fun of themselves, because this was a stupid movie that shouldn't have happened. So at least they understand that. We had a little of that in the first one. We had more of it in this one. But those were the funniest parts for me, is when they were making fun of themselves in the movie. I think that, and I don't know why, but the bit about Schmidt sleeping with the captain's daughter,
yes,
when the captain realizes it, that one had me rolling. Ice Cube kicking over the shrimp table and stuff, just smashing stuff, cursing like a sailor, so mad, but he can't blow the cover. Like, that bit went on for a while, and then when Jaco or Jeko, whatever his name is, figures it out, his dumb self figures it out, and he's high-fiving everybody, he's laughing, and he's like, you high-five the captain for sleeping with his daughter. Like, that joke kept going for me, and it was funny. I got to give that one credit. I don't know why that one was so funny. It was kind of the dumb humor, too.
Yeah.
But damn, they nailed that one. I was laughing out loud hard for that one. That was a good bit.
That was one of the scenes where me and a couple fans were talking, like, before we even watched this one, was like, that was one of the things that stood out in my brain. Not necessarily him jumping around and kicking stuff over, but just like after that, you kind of cut to him and he's just sitting there like, I can't possibly do it justice, but he's just got this look on his face, he's just staring at him like almost catatonic, but just like, I can't believe you of all people slept with my daughter.
Yeah,
I fucking, like, every time I watch this movie, I die at that. Like, just the look on Ice Cube's face is so priceless.
And it's weird when they go up to high five in the beginning and you don't know, right? And they high five, and then later they make fun of the fact that he high fived him for sleeping with his daughter, and it makes it that much funny. Like, okay, that's why there was that high five in there that seemed out of place. It was to pay off later, and it did pay off. So that was a funny bit, and they landed that one. I just thought.
There was even just like a little bit of like an oven timer or something that went off as soon as Jenko clued into what happened. Just like a little ding, and he's like, "Oh, you slept with the guy!" Like he finally, the last horse finally crosses the finish line and gets where everybody else already is.
Yeah.
Like amazing. I don't know. I think Channing Tatum's actually a pretty funny comedian, at least in these movies.
Yeah. I think the captain had some really good lines in there too. He's like, yeah, we spent all the money on this office. I'm wearing $700 shoes and you can't even see them. Like he's obviously kind of like almost breaking the fourth wall. They're talking about the budget for the movie, not for the job that they're doing. And that was clever. It was kind of funny. I like that stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree. This one I thought was more clever in some of the setups and executions than the first one. Whereas the first one kind of felt like, yeah, we're rebooting and these guys are idiots and they'll idiotically get it done. But like you said, the setup with the captain's daughter was good. Where it falls flat for me, and I'm just going to get hate from everybody as usual for this, is it was too Family Guy for me. You know, how they just ride the joke too long. So it becomes not funny, and then they just keep going, and then it's supposed to become funny again. I've never fallen into that. I've never understood what makes it funny again when you just overreach on your jokes. You know, if you have a nice, clever setup, the prison like
sequence
that,
was terrible like that. They just kept pressing that joke, and I was not laughing at all. I was because it was me and Windstorm in the watch party watching it, and I almost unmuted my mic and went like, "Hey, Windstorm, can I like skip 30 seconds ahead, please? Like this is painful for me to watch." But Windstorm was having a good time. He really liked this film.
I don't love I think it's called comedic torture is what you're talking about, where they just like press a scene forever. When like Peter's like,
yeah, exactly, yeah,
like that whole scene. I didn't get that specifically from this movie personally, but maybe that's because I was enjoying some of the jokes. The prison scene, as incredibly stupid as it was, did kind of work for me. Like specifically the fact that like you've got Franco in the background, just like, please, dear God, get me out of here. Like you got to get me anywhere else.
I
thought that was actually pretty funny.
I think Franco's bit in that was pretty good, but it was ruined by his counterpart from the previous movie who had his dick shot off and kept talking about just getting gross. I don't even want to talk about it. It's so gross and disgusting. It wasn't funny to me. Franco was the redeeming factor in there, but I was hating what he was having to work with to make it funny. It just couldn't work.
You felt like Franco.
Yeah, I did. I felt like Franco.
I'll definitely agree Franco was the better part of the two there. Like I could have gone for I think it's the gym teacher being significantly toned down from what he was doing. But I'd be lying if I said I didn't chuckle or enjoy the scene to some extent. So
and we talk about this all the time. Humor is very subjective. There's lots of people that probably thought that was the best scene in the movie. It just wasn't for me. And that's fine. You know, I'm here to give my opinion. And if you don't like it, keep watching. I'll change my opinion for you because I'm a crowd pleaser.
One of the things that started off working for me and didn't by the end was the whole movie is taking place in college, obviously. And Maya, the Ice Cube's daughter, has a roommate. And whenever they wake up in her room, essentially, she's has a little back and forth with Jonah Hill. Mm-hmm. I thought those were hysterical when she was the roommate. And apparently that was all ad-libbed, and like they were saying like this was one of the few actresses that was giving it to Jonah as good as he could give it. Like they actually had a legit back and forth. I thought those were very funny. And then when she became the actual villain, I lost all taste for her whatsoever. And I was like,
I'm with you on that one.
You need to go away. Like you're way too much now. The fight scene between the two of them where they're like, are we going to kiss? Are we going to fuck? What's going on here? Apparently that was a one take improv scene, which I'll give them some props for doing that all in one take and not breaking character. And also did nothing for me.
Yeah.
Like that was the scene where I'm like, we can go forward on this one.
Yeah. I think because it was improvised, you could tell that it didn't gel with the rest of like some of the cleverly written jokes and things. If there was like this weird love interest section, they could have actually put that in smarter. But because it was improvised, it just came across as awkward and kind of clunky throughout that entire sequence. And that's okay.
Yeah, I like the improv kind of stuff in movies when you know that the director is just letting them go.
Yeah.
And some of it makes them film. That's usually good stuff for me. I like that free form improvisation kind of humor in film. But that scene didn't jive. I think I'm with Will on this.
Yeah.
Had there been some kind of writing to foreshadow this love interest kind of thing that they were going for, maybe, but even then it just felt out of place and weird.
Yeah.
It
Very weird.
You could tell it was an improv scene. I could tell watching it. I was like, okay, they took this, they thought it was funny at the time, but it's just not for
Yeah.
me.
It's one of those things almost like what do you call it? Like prop work. I'm totally blanking on the terminology. When you have like a real life thing that you're like as a prop, it's not CGI. Come on, Will. help me out here.
Like, I don't know, like you just mean like real effects, but
Yeah, but there's a term that we've used 1,000 times that we
Practical effects?
practical effects. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
So for me, it's kind of like a practical effect almost, where like I'll give it more props knowing the artistry behind it,
Right.
versus if I thought that was scripted and came out that poorly, I would hate it even more.
Right.
But the
yeah,
fact that
that's
they're coming
true,
up with it off the top of their head, I'll be like, okay, well done. Not for me, but well done. And
No,
like
I
you see
agree.
that,
I agree.
yeah.
It's you're witnessing natural talent, and maybe it wasn't meant for this movie, but they've got it.
Or
And-
they maybe just should have done a second take so it was cleaner, right? Like,
Or
because
yeah,
they have the ability to redo it, obviously. I don't think
Yeah.
they were running
Yeah.
out of film by any means, but it could have just been a little tighter, a little cleaner, and it would have felt
Yeah.
more like it was meant to be in the movie, right? Instead of
yeah.
this awkward stand-in.
Well, by that point in the movie, they were starting to run out of budget, so they had to make things cheaper.
Yeah.
Right.
So they were saying, I wish they'd actually used the line. At one point, they're talking about like how they're driving through the campus, like, oh my God, this is the most expensive. Oh, it's so bad. And they're like, we're going to go through the electronics department. Oh no. And then it's like an
Aerial shot.
Aerial shot
They
of
can't
it.
even show it. Yeah.
I thought they'd like make a reference. I'm like, oh, that was cheaper than I thought it would be. Huh. Something like that I thought would have been pretty funny, but
Yeah.
oh well.
Or just something like man, that was some, where they're talking about breaking something super extravagant, but clearly they didn't because they couldn't show it, they couldn't afford to do it.
Yeah.
That would have been a little bit funnier. I think it was a missed opportunity with that aerial shot because they had to cut out to save on budget. I think, it could have gone better.
There could have been a joke there for sure.
I think there was a lot of those where I didn't like the direction that they took the humor, or they missed an opportunity for more humor by doing something simple that worked in other areas of the film. So that happened a lot throughout this. What did you guys think of the fact that the script is the exact same thing as the last one, and they reference this as well in the film, making fun of it? What did you think? Is that okay with you that this is the exact same movie again?
I think it's funny that it's the Nick Offerman character, the police chief,
Yeah.
who's always the one referencing it. Like
Letting
he
us
was the
know,
one in the
yeah.
first movie who's
Yes.
just like, yeah, we did this in the 80s and we're going to do the exact thing again. And then in this one, he's the one who's like, just do the same thing again. Like, just go do it. And then even later on, once they catch the woman or catch the culprit, he's on TV being like, so we had a case exactly like this a year ago. It's the exact same case.
It's the teacher that did it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know. I thought that was funny. It didn't bother me that it was the same storyline setup because it did kind of like the way you were saying last week, how it like subverted expectations by making Jonah Hill's character the cool character and Channing Tatum's the dork. They kind of lean you into that, like, okay, this is gonna be college, it'll be the same thing. Like all the tryhards are gonna be here. I'm gonna be the cool kid. You're gonna be left out. And then again, Channing Tatum actually becomes the cool one, and Jonah Hill's the one left out. I guess
in a
because
slightly
they
different
did
way,
the
but
role reversal, even though it's the more stereotypical role reversal, because it did switch that up a little bit. It did. I'm not gonna say I felt fresh. Obviously, it didn't, but it worked for me. It worked enough for me.
Yeah, for me, I was like, it was about 3/4 of the same movie, and then after they catch the teacher, they're like, no, it can't be. There's got to be more to it, and then it kind of went its own way. I kind of wish they just kind of 100% redid the same movie. I think that would have been funnier. Just be like, you know what? We're committing 100%.
Yeah.
But instead, they put
it got
in
a
the
little
extra,
messy, right?
Yeah. It just gets, and that I think that's they want messy, or they want to one up themselves in many ways, right? Which is fine. That's what sequels do. But they specifically said they didn't want to do that. So it was like they were countering their own
Yeah.
goal there, right? So it just didn't
I-
land for me all the way there.
I will definitely say the third act in this is the weakest for me,
Right.
where it does just get very, not necessarily messily made, but just kind of like everything's happening all at once.
Chaotic, yeah.
Chaotic. That's a much better word. Thank you. It just gets a little too chaotic for me, and the humor starts landing a little bit less. Maybe a movie and a half in, you're kind of like you're losing it a little bit. But like the first 2/3 of this movie, I thought was pretty funny, and it's not to say that everything in the last third is awful.
No,
But it's definitely that's where it starts falling apart. And I would agree with you. I'm very glad that at the end of this, they just do like 23 through 2021
They killed it. Yeah.
Jump Street, as opposed to being like, maybe there'll be a third. I liked it at the beginning of the movie, but by the end, I was like, no, this is the right way to go. This is calling it done is okay.
that said, there was a script for a third, and they were going to make it, but there was like production cost problems and producer issues, and the thing kind of just fell apart at the seams and never got made.
Thank God.
That's kind of surprising because this movie did very well. Like on a budget of 50 million, it made 330. So
yeah,
wow,
I mean
both
movies did really great, and I think that's why a third one was going to be made. And then I don't know, maybe people got too greedy with their asks for what they wanted, and it just crumpled underneath the weight of it all. Which is funny because that's kind of what the second one was about.
I mentioned last week I really liked the directors Lord and Miller, but they were relatively unknown, I want to say, for 21 Jump Street. So maybe by the time 23 Jump Street came out, they had a bit more under their belt and could be asking for more, as well as like Jonah Hill was kind of always a star at this point, but Channing Tatum would have been a bit bigger at this point. So
I didn't look this up. Tell me if you know or not. I'll look it up otherwise. Did they write with Jonah in the first one?
No.
Or just direct?
They just directed.
Okay.
And actually, I'm looking at it. It doesn't even look like Jonah was a writer on the second one, only on the first.
Yeah, that's what I saw, was that he didn't write on the first, only on the first one he wrote. So I was like,
I've got Jonah Hill down as a writer for the story, but not the screenplay.
The story, because he wrote the first one, so it's based on the same story.
Okay.
That's how that would tie in, I think.
Yeah. IMDb does not have him listed as a writer on this one, and does not have either Phil Lord or Chris Miller as writers on either one of them. So,
So we were introduced to a few new characters: Maya, the girlfriend, and Zook, the boyfriend. How did you guys feel about Zook and the way that they portrayed him? Because they were both very. Like they had these like homosexual jokes and homophobic jokes coming at you at the same time with that. Like Channing Tatum did not get what was going on around him. And I wasn't sure that Zook understood it either until that line at the end when he's like, yeah, you're better off with him. You know, like, and so there was some funny stuff in there, but it got a little bit too... They went a little too far on some of them, and I don't know.
Long in the tooth. The moral of this movie is everything is just too long. Yeah,
they just pushed them a little too far, and I didn't feel like I knew what direction they were going with it. And even at the end, I was like, I thought they were going this way, and they kind of went this way, but I'm still not even sure. And I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think because they portrayed their professional cop partnership as a romantic relationship throughout the movie, then that paired with the football friend as that similar replacement of that relationship. So they went all out trying to make it sound like that without saying those words. It was okay. I actually preferred more where Jenko was taking his class and learned that he was using slurs and about homosexual people, and then he wanted to make better when anybody spoke like that. That was like maybe the funniest part of the movie to me, is that because it was like actually like trying to
he's actually growing as a person.
Yeah, he's actually growing as a person. Whereas very little self-improvement happens in any of these movies at any point in time. So that was like very nice in comparison to the first movie when they were like making bad jokes that Brian and I picked up on American Beauty wise.
I would argue that Jonah Hill's character doesn't grow in either of these movies, not very much at least.
No.
Channing Tatum's character,
Yeah.
like in the first movie, he starts hanging out with the smarter people. He starts learning a bit more. He's not smart, but he's learning. He's advancing himself. We see him take that class in this one. Like, he's at least attempting to grow. We don't
Yeah.
see
He
a
does
whole
have
lot
a
of
better
growth from
arc.
Jonah Hill.
I agree with that. He does have a
And
better
I
arc.
feel they didn't have much character arc change for either of these characters, especially in the second movie. You're waiting for that scene when they're like, I'm sorry, I love you, I forgive you, whatever, and they kind of make amends. But in this one, they're just kind of like, yeah, we got to do this together. And so they get dressed up in costume together and then try and squeeze out the door at the same time. And they don't really finish it at all, except later they do have the moment where he's like, we got to go on our own. You got to do your thing and I got to go my way. And that's supposed to be like the big arc that they go through, the big changing moment. It just didn't feel like they grew very much. It just felt like they were accepting the breakup. That's all,
There was one line in this, I'm going to get it wrong. But he's talking about how like, oh man, I really like Zook because he can just fly with me. And instead of going I want to fly away, he says something to him like, I wish you could fly with me too. Now, obviously they pay that off in a poor way at the very end. But I got the wording a little bit wrong there, but like the sentiment there is actually kind of beautiful in a weird way. Like, I don't want to leave you behind, but this is who I am. And I just wish you could be there.
Go with me. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. There was a lot of relationship stuff in this movie. I did think I just want to be in an open relationship or no, an open investigation.
Yeah.
It was again, it went on too long, but like a third of that would have been very funny.
Agreed. I agree that there's potential in this one that I didn't feel the same way about in the first one, but they kind of just ruined it by oversaturating. There's no balance for me in these movies. I can't understand it.
To go back to your original question though about whether we liked Maya and Zook, the first time I watched this, I didn't know who Wyatt Russell was. Like, obviously, I knew he was Kurt Russell's son, but that was literally it. I'd never seen him in anything that I'm aware of. Now he's in the MCU, which of the three of us, I'm still a big fan. So having seen him as the Captain America replacement and then falling down and kind of trying to pick himself back up in Thunderbolts and then seeing him as this college jock kind of gave me a bit of a better appreciation for his range as an actor. Not to say that he was amazing in this by any stretch, but instead of just seeing him as that, I was able to see him for what other things he can do as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I did like his character. Well, no, I liked him on screen. His character was very one note and silly, but so be it. Maya didn't have a ton to do, but
yeah,
she didn't disappoint in what she did do. Oh my God. You know what? Okay. The comedic torture that you're talking about and the over the top awkward scenes, the yelling poetry. That's not what it's called.
Slam.
The poetry slam
poetry. Oh my God. Like cringing in my seat the entire time.
Yeah, that was rough to watch.
Just make it end. Just make it end. Just I know that this has to happen for the plot, but just please, anything else happen right now. And it just kept going.
Yeah, Wyatt Russell is in the show Monarch, and he plays a young Kurt Russell, and I think he does a fantastic job. I appreciate him, having seen him in a variety of things, Marvel stuff too, this and Monarch, and several other places too. I have a lot of appreciation for him as an actor. He was given absolutely no range whatsoever. He was there to mimic Jenko, and that was it. And they made you believe that maybe he was the dealer or the supplier or something along the way, and it doesn't go anywhere, of course. And his character never went anywhere, and there was nothing for him to do. So I think they put a fantastic actor into a very pigeonholed role right there.
But he was just supposed to be comedic, and I thought he did okay.
I thought, I thought he did okay for what they wanted to do. I just think that Wyatt Russell has the ability to do so much more than what he did in this movie.
I would say that's true of almost all of the cast.
It's true.
I don't necessarily have a ton extra to say. I think
no.
Yeah, I don't either. I wrote very little down for this movie. It's just because nothing was like very standout, and I would just riff off what you guys were saying. So if you're done, I'm done.
Well, and that's just it. Like at this point, we're basically just gonna like delve into what was our favorite and least favorite scenes, which we've already been doing. And I feel like I touched on the ones I wanted to touch on. So you're good to just wrap this up?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's roll into the ratings.
No, let's do this first.
Oh,
Woo!
that's right.
If you like what we do and you want to help support us, consider joining our Patreon. There's a link down below. Thank you very much to our producers, as well as our executive producer, Dino, and of course, our head writers, Elder Jam 990, Miss Hillary, and Real Bubba Hotep. This week, we're going to be doing, for the Patreon pick, I forgot what it's called, the Lady Gaga movie.
Yeah.
A Star is Born.
A Star is Born.
This week, for the Patreon pick, we're going to be watching A Star is Born in the watch party on Discord and then reviewing that next Thursday. So if you want to join us for either of those, make sure you head over to Patreon and join at the producer level or above. We'd love to have you there.
Those watch parties air every...
Sunday.
I just lost my train of thought.
Sunday?
Those watch parties air every Sunday night at 7 Central, 8 on the East Coast, if that's where you want to check them out. I'm almost always there every week, and we are trying to get more movies into the watch party system so that you get your value out of helping to support us and the Patreon.
It is worth mentioning, Will and I will be there every Patreon pick, which is once a month. Brian is doing this out of the generousness of his heart, being there every single week. I will be there when
Probably
I can.
the only time I watch a movie in one sitting is the watch party.
Exactly. I'll be there when I can, but I can't commit to it on a weekly basis, unfortunately. All right, Brian, take us away.
Okay. So I don't have a whole lot to say about this movie. I think it had missed opportunities. I think it leaned into the humor that I don't appreciate. That's not to say that they weren't funny. They had lots of funny moments in this, but there were a lot more, for me, painful moments to watch that made this movie something I just didn't want to see. That middle stretch for me was the worst. I think the low point was probably the prison scene where it was incredibly awkward, disgusting humor that did not make me laugh, and I just wanted to turn it off, but I couldn't. So I did finish the movie. I was actually glad that I did finish the movie because I do think that this rounds out as a decent enough comedic sequel. I just don't think that maybe comedies should have sequels, honestly. I think that parts of this movie should have been superimposed onto number one, and that would have been a much better comedy, and it could have ended right there, and I would have been super happy with that. But instead, we got 22 Jump Street, where a lot of the jokes felt old, and a lot of the humor was just not my taste. So if you liked the first one and you like awkward humor and you like kind of raunchy humor, then I would say go check this out. If those things don't sound amazing to you, then definitely pass on this sequel. I give this one a 51 for me. It is decently enough produced, but just not quality enough for me to really push it to anybody.
Technically pass! Yeah, I'll take it.
That's why I gave it a 51, just on that side of it passes. I mean, it's a real movie, and they really made it the best that they maybe could. I don't know. Just
this is one of the movies of 2014.
They really made it.
It's a movie.
It's a real movie, and they real made it. Oh, wow. Okay.
That's funny.
Oh. So last week I came in pretty high on 21 Jump Street, mostly because it was a comedy and it made me laugh, which is exactly what I'm looking for in that category. This movie, while I would agree with Brian, it does have some misses, and there are some very awkward moments in this movie that I wish they did skip or at least shorten. There's still a lot in this movie that makes me legitimately laugh out loud, which I'm not going to say is rare, but is still a great feeling when it happens. So I can't give it too low of a score. The chemistry between the two lead characters I still really enjoy. Ice Cube, I think, is really funny as a comedian. Could it be better? Absolutely. It can always be better. But I laughed quite a bit. So I can't give it too low of a score. For me, this one comes in at a 71. It is down from the first one, but it's not that far down. As far as comedy sequels go, I think it keeps a lot of the magic. I love how whenever Brian gives his score, we're all like, oh yeah, and we talk about it. And then whenever I give my score, it's fucking crickets until we go to Will. And it's like, okay, Sure. All right. I won't feel weird about that every fucking week.
No, it's because we get into the flow of it's we're rating now. That's all.
Yeah, yeah.
That's all it is.
Okay.
We
Not
don't
you.
like
Sure.
you, Dan.
I know. You keep me around because I do the editing. Fucking giants.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, what can I say? Again, not my bag, not my dice. I don't know what I'm saying. It's okay, I guess. I think it did things better than the first one in some areas and worse than the first one in other areas. This again was like touted as like a very good sequel as far as comedy movies go, and got very good ratings overall. I had a hard time finding people who disliked this movie. So again, I think it's just me. But yeah, overall, I didn't want to watch it. I watched it anyway because you forced me to. And there was parts that I thought were okay. Overall, it got a 44 out of 100, which, if you're keeping count, is the exact same score I gave the last movie, because it's good, better in some, worse in others, balances out to the same trash movie. It is the same movie. It's trash.
It's the same movie, so it gets the same score. Well, at least my math is easy, so that's good.
You're welcome.
Yeah. All right.
What was your score, Dan?
71.
Okay.
Brian, you have someone to vamp with. Go.
I'm sorry, I was reading chat.
Oh. All right.
Hey, Val. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about these movies.
Kick Dan.
Comedies are the toughest movies I think we have to rate, right? Because they're so much more subjective than anything else we do, because that humor is a huge scoring aspect. You're coming in to watch a movie that's going to make you laugh, but we all laugh at different things.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that said, we have seen that comedy kind of goes through fads and phases. I just feel like the stupid is as stupid watch has been a long time fad that I haven't been a fan of.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the dumb
What
humor
did
to
you just
pass. I want
say?
smart comedy.
I don't know
That's
what
I want
I
to
don't-
get to.
I don't know what I just said.
Okay. What's up, Valbug? I was getting I was listening to you and I'm just like, what?
I've been watching
what are
too much Jump Street. I don't even know what's funny anymore.
what are some comedies that you guys enjoy? Just out of curiosity. Not even necessarily franchises, just comedies.
I do enjoy Mel Brooks. I know you've only seen like one of his movies. I can't wait for Spaceballs 2 so we can actually do a Mel Brooks franchise.
Yeah. I'm hoping that Spaceballs 2 absolutely knocks it out of the park and is the Terminator 2 to the comedic franchise world. I really hope that it's just blows things away,
Yeah,
I want it to be the
I don't know if it's
aliens.
going to do that.
Yeah. I don't have high hopes, but I mean, I'm crossing my fingers over here.
I mean, you've seen some of the movies I enjoy, Dan. I force you to watch Adaptation, which is like a dark comedy.
Okay. I wouldn't have placed that as a comedy, but you're right. I laughed. It was good. It was really good.
Yeah.
I never like dark comedies as comedy. I never, for some reason, I'm not saying it isn't or that I'm wrong. It's subjective. But for me personally, whenever I read dark comedy, I go, that's not a movie I'm going to laugh at. That's a movie that I'm probably going to find creepy and maybe even offensive in places because they're going for humor in ways that I don't find it funny. When a person can make me laugh about cancer, when a person can make me laugh about death, when a person can make me laugh about things that aren't supposed to be funny, that's some of the funniest stuff out there. But dark comedy films never, ever pull that off for me.
Which is totally fair. We were talking about comedians before we got started.
And that's my favorite form of comedy is stand-up comedy, and I like storytellers the best, but any kind of stand-up is great.
Fair. I can't remember where I heard that. No, I can't. The Christian Harloff had said something years ago, and I believe it wholeheartedly. There's almost nothing comedically that is off limits, as long as you are smart enough to make it actually funny. And the
Right.
problem is you'll have a lot of comedians out there who can't make it funny and try anyways, and it is horrible.
Right.
But like, you can bring up almost anything, like sexism, racism, whatever you want, as long as you're funny and you have a point, you can get away with it. The problem is you have so many people who are not funny, don't have a point, and are just being sexist or racist. And they're like, oh, comedy's going downhill these days. Like, no, you're just bad at it. There is a difference.
Truly talented, funny comedians are the pinnacle of freedom of speech.
Yeah.
If they can make you laugh, they literally can say anything they want and they can get away with it. But they got to be talented. They got to bring the funny, and then they get to talk about whatever they want. I think Dave Chappelle is one of my favorite stand-up comedians. Before him, Richard Pryor. But Chappelle almost got canceled. He pushed it to the absolute limit. Netflix didn't cancel him. And that was the flag that says, yeah, we're going to let this stand. We think that this form of freedom of speech, it was funny enough to be freedom of speech. So, you know, whether you like what he talks about or not, I know a lot of people find him offensive. He obviously is offensive in his material and everything. But I think and it's a double-edged sword, right? Because we are going to hear comedians that make other people laugh that's not us.
Yeah.
And they're talking about things that we find offensive and mean, but no one's canceling them or shutting them down or silencing them. And I'm okay with that. I don't like silencing people. I like letting people be heard because I can change the channel. I'm okay with it.
So I have two trains of thought on that. One, I also really like Dave Chappelle, but he wouldn't rank very highly on my funniest comedians. I just think he's got such an interesting way of telling a story that I could listen to him talk about almost anything. And he does a good job, but I don't laugh at his comedy specials all that much.
Dude, Robin Williams cracks me up.
Robin Williams kills me.
Miss Doubtfire, Good Morning Vietnam. Come on.
I meant his stand-up, but yeah, okay.
Those are fun. Well, his stand-up too. His stand-up's phenomenal, but he's made great comedy films that I've enjoyed. I don't know how those movies would stand up today. I haven't seen them in over a decade, but I'd like to go back and check those out because I hope they still make me laugh.
The second thing I'll say about Dave Chappelle, or cancel culture or canceling whatever, we don't technically have the same freedom of speech that you guys have in the States, in the sense that it's not built into our Constitution in quite the same way, but we do. But I think saying something that could be deemed as offensive is kind of the price you pay to live in a society that does have freedom of speech.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that to like carte blanche, say whatever you want, but just like somebody saying, like, it's like wow, we're going way off topic and this is all going to get super edited out. It's kind of like the same idea with like burning the flag. Like, if that's part of free speech, you have to be allowed to do things like that, despite the fact that you will piss people off.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like the freedom of speech itself is a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Not just with comedy, but just with life.
Yeah. In America, we're real strong. We're real strong about that. So much so that rule number 1 is I get to say what I want. And rule number 2 is don't mess with rule number 1. And so it's a big deal down here. And so, yeah, I don't want to see people burning my flag, but I don't get all bent out of shape for it because they're angry and they want to express themselves. And I push for the right for anybody to express themselves any way they want. As long as they're not harming people or, then it's fine.
Will, scale of 1 to 10, how uncomfortable are you right now?
Not bad. I mean,
okay.
I'm the odd one out. I don't watch a lot of stand-up comedy. I never really had a thing for stand-up comedy. The odd comedian I would watch and be like, oh yeah, okay, they're pretty funny. But I don't know what it is about that format that just doesn't do it for me. Whereas one of my favorite sitcoms is Seinfeld, which is a stand-up comedy guy doing whatever.
All stand-up comedians doing whatever, literally whatever.
yeah, exactly. But I mean, to fight for Seinfeld, it's more Larry David than anything, and he was a terrible stand-up, but a very funny man.
What's up with that?
And so I don't know. Once in a while I'll like watch a little bit of a stand-up on the TikToks or whatever. I'm like, okay, I'm good.
Do you enjoy? In my brain, for some reason, I could see you enjoying Wow, English is real hard when I'm on this show. For some reason. I don't blank
Yeah.
this hard when I'm on my own show, but for some reason I get together with you guys. I'm like, I don't know words. Improv. Do you enjoy improv more?
I do enjoy improv. I've done a lot of improv, so
Okay.
again, I'm picky when it comes to improv.
I was gonna say that was the most reserved answer.
I know, right? Like good long form improv is hard to come by, and good short form improv is hard to come by because a lot of people just like, again, improv follows the trends of comedy, and so there are times in my life where I loved the improv I saw, and there are times more recently there I'm like, yeah, this isn't my humor. And so it varies just like comedy does for me.
Saturday
totally fair.
Night Live, In Living Color, and Mad TV were probably three of my favorite television shows. I'd stay up late. I'd watch that. It's improv at its best. Somebody like Chris Farley, who is literally making everybody in the room fall out of character. They can't keep it together as he's doing his Down by the River bit. You know, David Spade is literally trying to hide his face because he's just laughing out loud during this live recording of it. That stuff is so funny to me when the people who are trying to stay in character are having trouble staying in character. You just know that is really, real funny. And I love that. That's my favorite.
So I'm going to go the same way Will is on this one a little bit. Well, I'm going to take a page out of Will's book from before. I don't know what it is. Sketch comedy does nothing for me. Like I like a TikTok here or there, like when it's like the highlight reel, maybe. But like to sit and watch an hour and a half of Saturday Night Live, I will fall asleep on purpose rather than sitting there and watching it. I don't know why.
I mean, it is on quite late for us old folk.
Sure. There are funny bits. Sure. And like, again, on TikTok, on YouTube, getting like, oh my God, you have to watch this 2-minute thing. Sure. But just like sketch after sketch after sketch after sketch, I can't do it.
YouTube's great for that because the funniest ones are the ones that end up on your scroll, and you only got to watch them for 5 minutes instead of the whole show, and you don't have to wait until midnight to watch it either. So that has been helpful.
All right, let's end this show before we continue talking about other forms of comedy and whatnot. Kind of forgot we hadn't finished up yet. Just enjoying the conversation. There we go. And with that, we have 21 Jump Street coming in with a final total of 75, 60, and 44 for a grand total of 60, putting it tied with Christmas Chronicles just below Gremlins and Beverly Hills Cop. What do you guys think about this rating? For me, again, obviously with my scores, this is pretty low for me. I enjoyed these comedies more than I enjoy the comedy of Beverly Hills Cop or Gremlins. But for you guys, where does this land? Does this feel right?
If I were to look at 21 Jump Street as an action comedy, I think Beverly Hills Cop is a better franchise.
Fair enough.
If it's pure comedy you're going for, maybe it would be reversed.
Okay, I can accept that.
I think comparing it to Beverly Hills Cop is adequate. I think Beverly Hills Cop is a slight notch above. And comparing it to Gremlins, I really am not a big fan of the sequel of Gremlins. I like the first movie, and the sequel just, I don't know, kind of rubs me the wrong way, I guess. Whereas 21 Jump Street was a little closer to even from 1 to 2, even though my score went down a bit. Like, it went down because they leaned into a type of comedy that isn't for me. But as the structure of the movie is very similar to its predecessor, it's more of an even across the board. If you'd like the first one, you'll probably like the second one. Whereas Gremlins felt like it was two different movies. And so I'm not sure if I think it should be above Gremlins or not.
Yeah.
That's fair.
With
I
the
actually just really quickly looked. Your scores for Gremlins and your score for 21 Jump Street are almost identical, with the first one being significantly higher, the second one being much lower. Right. So that's kind of funny.
And averaging to 60.
Exactly.
That's funny. I also think it's interesting when we come. I'm looking forward to, again, there's not a lot of sequels or franchises of comedies, but
agreed.
I want to see one that gets up there on the list, because if we look at our list, comedies all fall pretty low on that list, which is
well, and again, you kind of just said this, but like if it was just single movies we're looking at, I'm sure we could find some comedies that were significantly
Yeah,
higher.
some gold,
But
sure.
most of the good ones don't have sequels. You mentioned Spaceballs a little while ago. Of course, that sequel's coming out, I think, later this year, early next year.
Next year, I think. Yeah.
Which could be very interesting to do when it does come out. But yeah, there's not a ton of comedy franchises that stay at a good level. But
Yeah.
Exactly.
I would love to be
Those-
proven wrong. If any of you have any comments out there, leave them down below. I'd love to know what comedy franchises you think actually do hold up.
I want to see a very smart film that makes me feel a wide range of emotions, but also is labeled a comedy and has comedy throughout, but it's very smart comedy with
Yeah.
a true, real story and real character arcs and real plot to it. Something I can really sink my teeth into and laugh. I want to laugh and cry at a great comedy. I think if we see something like that, that gets high up on the list. But that type of movie never has a sequel.
Exactly what I was just about to say.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to wrap that up and
Put a bow on it.
all right, so that's our rating of 22 Jump Street. What do you guys think? Were we too harsh on this one? Too lenient? I'd love to know what you have to say. We record this live over twitch.tv/The Mongoolie Show. So you can head over there and hit the follow button if you want to hang out with us live. Or if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button as well as subscribe so that we see you in the next one. Brian, have you ever seen it's not Spotlight, it's Steve Carell, The Big Short. Have you ever seen The Big Short?
Oh, yes. That's a fantastic movie.
I was going to say
smart,
that
that's
kind
smart
of
and funny.
exactly. That's kind of exactly what I was thinking when
Fairly
you were talking.
historically
But there's
accurate, too.
yeah, but there'll never be a
when
sequel.
they go into the
Hopefully.
stripper and she's talking about her homes and stuff, oh my God. Steve Carell just cracks me up so much from that scene.
Yeah. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's like, we're going to talk about something really boring. So here's Margot Robbie in the bathtub to explain it to you. It's just like,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, no, I think
Got my attention.
when you were like, oh, I want to see something really funny, but also really smart, that was the first thing that came to my mind. I'm like, that ticks those boxes pretty well.
Yeah, The Big Short's great. Plus, I love economics. You guys probably don't know this. I absolutely love economics. And so when they talk about the big crash there, oh my God. Whew.
I would be very curious to get your take on the one, the Project Hail Mary, as it is
I haven't
sci-fi,
seen
which
it
I
yet.
know you
Really
enjoy.
want to. Love
I
the
know.
book.
It's sci-fi, it's comedy. It feels like it'd be up your alley, but I would love to pick your brain on it when it happens. Anyways, you had to. You said you wanted to get out of here pretty quickly afterwards. I still have a video to edit, so if you guys are good,
Yeah.
gonna call
I've
it?
had a fantastic day. This was a great cap to my day. I love when we have a wide range of scores, guys. These are my favorites. So maybe comedies don't land high on our list, but because our taste in humor is so different, it always gives us a wide range on these films. And I love when we disagree on films because it gives us more to talk about and to argue and to kind of make jokes at ourselves. And so this has been fun, and I appreciate you guys. Let me come on once again. Thank you.
I will say I like it when we disagree. And it does lead to some interesting conversations. I like it more when we disagree on a movie because we all agree comedy is so subjective that it doesn't tend to have a whole lot. Like all we can really say is like, I laughed at this part. I did not laugh at this part. I like it more for something like Jurassic Park, where we can like go about like, oh, I didn't think that the plot development was very good here. Oh, I really did like the plot development because of this. There's a
Right.
bit more meat on the bone.
Yeah.
But I do like it when we don't necessarily agree 100% on something and we can kind of get into a conversation a little bit more. All right, you guys have been awesome. We're going to raid out to Stone's Wife if you're hearing and watching here at the Mongoolie Show. I guess before we go, Brian, where can people catch you? Are you going to be doing any live recordings on Sunday?
Let's see. So I'm starting to work a little bit more time into my schedule. I have some pop-up streams. I tried to finish Dead Space, but the controls kept getting janky. It's something to do with Steam. I don't know what's going on there. And so I had trouble finishing that game, but we did start Still Wakes the Deep, which is a survival horror playthrough that takes place on an oil mining rig off the coast of like Norway or someplace, I forget. They say the C word a whole bunch. It's a lot of fun. The cursing is off the charts in this playthrough. I'm only like 10 minutes in. So that'll take place on Sundays. Instead of Cyberpunk, we wrapped up Cyberpunk. That was a great game. and now I'm
Okay.
on to something else. So that's what I'm kind of doing. I don't have a lot of solid stuff set in stone. It's just the Sunday stuff and Thursday stuff, and whenever I can get around to playing some games with friends.
Okay, so you are enjoying it,
Still Wakes the Deep, yes.
but you're only 10 minutes in. Okay, I
Yeah.
didn't want to say anything before you got into it. I guess you're still only 10 minutes in. I should not say anything yet, but like, I played it. I was really high hopes for it, and it just, bleh. So I
Oh,
hope
really?
you love it. I
Oh,
really
okay.
hope you enjoy it.
I hope it gets better, because so far, like, there's no weapons. It's just me moving through a story and like walking on ledges and stuff right now. But the character development and dialogue is really good so far. So I hope that continues.
Nice. What about you, Will? What are you doing for Friends Friday?
It's Friends Friday. Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do. Marvel Rivals just updated with a new like temporary game mode, which is kind of fun. It's just like 4 people bashing hundreds of zombies' heads or whatever, which is, you know, mindless fun. So I might do that. Might get into something else. Whatever people want to show up and do. Usually pretty game on Fridays, so
Nice.
that'll be me.
Sounds good.
What about you,
Uh,
Dan? What's Saturday look like for you, sir?
This Saturday, we are concluding the month of WoW with our last playthrough. Hopefully, we'll be able to make it through the stockades. We do have a decent group. Unfortunately, Bubba Hotep had to back out. He got way too much hate for missing his son's soccer game, so now he has to go to those soccer games instead. But we've got Max Carnage, hiding from real life, wonderful D and myself, and yeah, we've just been having fun and progressing through that world. I am looking forward to getting to play something else, as that's all I've played, that in Resident Evil for the month of April, but should be a good time regardless. So check that out on Saturday, and then yeah, we just finished Resident Evil 7, so I guess on Monday we'll be starting Resident Evil 8.
Nice.
Should be good. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out. We've already rated out to each other and others, so I'm just going to close it. But you guys have a great night, and we'll catch you next time for... I forgot it again. Lady Gaga.
A Star is Born.
A Star is Born. I keep wanting to put no in there, like no star or something like that. A Star is Born next week on our